Hey y'all, welcome to Boundaries and Grace. Hey y'all, I'm back. Wow, I'm back. I'm gonna give it just a second to warm up before I tell you what we're about to do, but I'm back. This is really exciting. Let me put in the comments, let me pin in the comments what we're gonna be talking about. Let's see, attractive matches. Hey y'all, it's been months. It has been months that I've been off of Instagram and it feels so good. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. But it feels so good to be back. Like I'm really, really excited about what I'm about to do. How are y'all? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Are you excited? How are you? Gabriella, I was just thinking of you. I say that every time I see your name pop up because it's true. Hi, y'all. How are you? How are you? I'm looking right in front of me because I am going to put this on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, please do it. The link's in the bio. Okay, let's go. Let's just go. I'm back, y'all. I have my notes here because I have so much to say and I want to make sure we're on track. So I've got my iPad here. I got my notes. I want to share with you some things. Let's just get into it. I went on a lengthy break, like 3, 4 months or something. I was not in Instagram jail. I just was in a real. I was on like just a break from Instagram, living my actual life. Okay. Oh, thank you. I was living my actual life, enjoying myself, and really recharging and reflecting. I went on a lengthy break, like 3, 4 months from social media. Wasn't on anything. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I'm pretty sure it hasn't gotten better in terms of what's going on with people. But so I took a long break. I was giving my personal life a lot of attention. All right. Because, the reality is, y'all, let's go ahead and start taking some notes now. The reality is every part of your life cannot get equal parts of you. It's just not possible. So anyway, I was giving my personal life a lot of attention and I was reflecting a lot. I needed to get my footing and get grounded in what I was doing, why I was here, and how I'm going to go about all of this. Because if you, this is a big fish to fry. Like my work is a big fish to fry. People are dynamic and interesting, to say it in the nicest way. People are dynamic and interesting. This is a very big fish to fry. I saw very challenging problems for individuals and relationships. And so I needed to regroup and reground and reorient and understand how we were going to go about this. And I have a plan for us that I'm going to share with you today. Okay, I've got a plan for us I'm going to share with you today. I'm really excited. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. Wow, we're here. Let's dive right in. Here's what we're doing, and here's where we're going. I'm very call and response. I really love the comments. I love the hearts. So I appreciate like the hearts and the fire. That does a lot for me. So do that. That helps me. I like that. And I like to hear what you think. I like to see what you're doing in the comments. So my name's Taylor Chandler. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I'm a coach. Okay, I thank you. I graduated from Virginia Tech with a bachelor's in hospitality and tourism management. Okay, I graduated from business school. Then I went to Atlanta to go to Mercer University, and I graduated with my master's of marriage and family therapy. Okay, seems like a big jump because it was. I got caught with a fake ID my junior summer before my senior year in college. And the project management position I was lined up for with Capital One after graduation was stripped from me because of my, thank you, it's good to see you, was stripped from me because of my pending charge. Okay, so I got charged with I got a fake ID. I didn't get charged with a fake ID. I was charged. The charge no longer exists anyway. Because I had this fake ID charge, my pending charge at the time, because I had this pending, hey Lou, because I had this pending charge at the time, which was, they don't call it fake ID, they call it misrepresentation of your identification. I had been vying for this position at Capital One since my freshman year of college. I was like, oh yeah, like they have a super cool office. Like they have like tree houses on the campus. They've got a bunch of stuff. I was like, this is very cool. I like this. They have snack carts and all kinds of things. And also like my skill set like really lended itself to project management. So I had been vying for that position. It got taken away after the fake ID, and I had to find out what else I was about to do. Okay. Because that kind of charge in the big business world does not mix. So I had to find something else to do. And I'd added psychology as a minor my senior year of college, and I realized I was really good at it. And I also got very pivotal feedback from the director, who his name is Dr. Erika Grafsky at the Virginia Tech Marriage and Family Therapy Center, which is where their PhD students practice before, like, as they're working towards their PhD. And I got some really pivotal feedback from Dr. Erika Grafsky that really helped me to see myself and my strengths. And I was like, wow, I really can do this. And I always knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. So I put it all together, or I knew I was going to be self-employed, which self-employed and entrepreneurship isn't necessarily the same thing, related, but not the same. I knew I was going to be self-employed. I knew I really loved entrepreneurship. So I put it all together and I became a therapist and opened my own practice. That's what I did. Okay. So, and it was one of the best things that ever happened to me was that fake ID charge, which at the time I thought it was the worst thing, but it actually was the best thing. Anyway, I ended up getting the charge expunged, by the way. I ended up getting the charge expunged. I was just looking at the paperwork earlier today, actually. It was 11 years ago that happened. I ended up getting the charge expunged like it never happened. Was it 11? Yeah. Yes, it was. Okay. I was just looking at I was just looking at my fingerprints. I got copies. I had to get my fingerprints done. Okay. I still got copies of it, and I keep them. As a matter of fact, let me show you. I was just looking at it this morning because I got a new file cabinet right here. I don't know if I should show y'all this. I don't know if I should put this. I'm not going to put that up. It's right here in the documents. Okay. I'm not going to put that up. You know, sometimes you got to know when to stop. But anyway, so I ended up getting the charge expunged like it never happened. I also ended up becoming a therapist because I had to find something else to do. And the business world was off limits. Anyway, I said that. Because of the nature of the charge, they don't really mix. Okay. So now my name's Taylor Chandler. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I'm a coach. I help people become attractive matches. That's new. Okay. That part's new. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. I used to help people specifically with their attachment styles. Like some of y'all, and it's very few people at this point, but some of y'all, and Gabriella, I was thinking of you when I was writing these notes. Some of y'all have been with me since before I even put my name on Instagram. Like it was Thresh Coach. And then it was Taylor Chandler. It was I Am Taylor Chandler. At first it was Thresh Coach. So some people have seen it all the way through. And at first it was like about toxic relationships. And then I had a meeting with, her name is Marissa Layton, who I went to high school with. I saw an ad come up for her on Instagram, and it said that she was hosting something in Atlanta. And I was like, I'm in Atlanta. I was new to Atlanta at the time, pretty new to Atlanta, I would say. I went to Atlanta and I knew one family friend there, but I didn't know anybody else. So when I saw Marissa Layton was she's a business coach. So when I saw she was having a thing in Atlanta, I went. And we went to lunch after. And because she's a business coach, she's listening to me talk about the things and she's doing her thing. She was like, well, you should niche. She'd ask me a really good question. She's like, well, what do you think you're really good at? Because they don't teach you about niching. They don't teach you about entrepreneurship or being self-employed when you're a therapist. They kind of teach you how to be in a system. So, but I knew I was going to be self-employed. And before you become able to have your own practice, you have to go through a process of being in the system. And then you could choose to have your own practice or not when you become fully licensed. So she's asking me these questions and I'm reflecting on what I'm really good at. And also, you know, when it comes to therapy and also what I had a lot of experience with, and because of my own personal stuff and because of my own research and trying to fix my own stuff and going to my own therapy, I realized I was really good with attachment. So I made that my niche. So y'all following the story so far? So I go to lunch with Marissa. That conversation planted the seed for me to focus specifically on attachment, and it worked very well, and I really enjoyed it. Then I branched out to the broader relationship conversation. Some of you have heard those kinds of differences. Again, like those of you that have been here for like years, you've heard those differences in like my podcast intro, right? Like it's changed a bit. And then the content's changed a bit. And I have changed. Like it's crazy when you see if you scroll back, which is amazing. Like, you know, something I was reflecting on is how weird it is to have everything out here on Instagram, and you can see the transitions, and you can see me. I'm different. Always like the core is the same, but it's different. Like it's been different as we go, and you can see the whole progression, right? Like if you just scroll through the page. So some of you have seen those differences. Some of you just got here as I reached into the broader relationship conversation, which is when my content really started picking up more because it's like the spicier stuff. Like I intentionally, and I mentioned that last season, I intentionally pressed that button last season just to kind of see. And I thought, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. So I branched out to the broader conversation because I have tons of ideas about people in relationships. Of course, it's like literally my job. And it's also just me. I help people become better individuals and have better relationships. And I thought I had good perspective to add to the larger conversation. And plus, I just got bored of attachment. That's the truth. I just got bored with attachment. And so that's where I left you, which was last season. And that is, I was just looking, I was like, is it season 11 or season 12? I think season 12 was the last season. So the last time I was here, last season, I framed it as phase 1. Thank you. I framed it as phase 1. You remember that? Where we were making distinctions between who can be brought forward and who needs to be left behind. I really think I still think y'all. Oh, thank you. I still think y'all. Hey, Grace. I still think that people who cannot be productive, cannot be constructive, cannot be helpful, are not team oriented. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say, y'all remember the bad attitude episodes from last season? They were really funny and also really serious. I want you to listen to that because we got a lot of bad attitudes out here. We gotta try to fix that. I really think that people who cannot be productive, cannot be constructive, cannot be helpful, cannot be team oriented, or will not be, because cannot and will not are two different things. People who either cannot, that's ability, or will not, that's desire and motivation. Either you cannot or you will not. And I think in most time it comes down to will. You will not be constructive, productive, helpful, or team oriented. My recommendation is to be left behind. Either we leave you behind. I was making distinctions before we moved into phase 2, which is where we are now. We're now in phase 2 officially. Congratulations to us. We're now in phase 2 as of July 30th, 2025. Welcome. Okay. We're going to talk about phase 2 in a bit, but first let's hover over this phase 1 to phase 2 transition point. So far, are you all following me? Is everybody okay? Is everybody okay? Is everybody okay? Let's see. Hey, Mary. Y'all good? Grace says she's good. Hey, Dominic. Hey. Yes. Okay, good. Thank you. So I stand for this, y'all. I stand for this. There is absolutely 0 point. Thank you, Jason. There is absolutely 0 point in trying to help people who do not want to change. I know that sounds simple. I know that sounds easy. But some of us, especially the helping types, especially the types, you like to see the world be in a better place. Sometimes we hold on a little bit too long. There's no point in trying to help people who do not want to change. There's no point in solely outlining how dysfunctional or just flat out negative. Just flat out. We don't even need a psychological term for it. You're just negative. Net negative. Everybody, we've all got some negative aspects. Nobody's all the way on the positive side, right? But some of you are net negatives. Like after we account for everything, right? At the net, after we filtered for everything, after we accounted for childhood, after we accounted for effort, after we accounted for generational differences, after we accounted for your gender, after we accounted for everything, you're a net negative. All right. Some of y'all just net negatives. That's the facts. That's just the reality. And those net negative, for those people who are net negatives, there's no point in us focusing on them. The ones who need to change, there's no point in only outlining how just dysfunctional or flat out negative men and women should change so they're better people or better partners. There's no point. Okay. The ones who need to change the most won't listen or won't care. We start saying that with a smile because you should be free. Oh, I feel like we're about to preach. Start saying it with a smile because you're free. You're free from them. Free from trying to change them. Free from trying to drag them along. Free from all of their weird behaviors that you gotta try to understand why they doing that and why they acting weird. And free because you let them go. That's how you get free. You let them go. Somebody needs to write that down. Write that one down. The ones who need to change the most either won't listen or won't care. It's like the worst just get worse. Wait, it's like the people who are worse off, it's almost like they just keep getting worse. It's like the snowball effect. It's like if you already negative and you just keep negativing. Anyway, energy compounds. We need to leave them behind and focus on more valuable things. That's what we need to do. I stand by that. Thank you. I stand by that. We need to leave them behind, find more valuable things to do. Now, I'm going to be really clear, y'all. I am not saying that I am or that you are or that anyone who works with me is or anyone who listens to me is more valuable as an actual person. I believe the inherent value in every human being. I'm going to say that right to the camera so nobody gets confused. I'm going to say it to you. I'm going to say it to you. I believe in the inherent value in every human being. Okay? I believe in the inherent value in every human being. Okay? And not every human being is producing the same kind of, or creating the same kind of outcomes or experiences. And some of those experiences and outcomes are more positive than others on a consistent basis. And some are more negative than others on a consistent basis. That's reality. Okay? So we need to focus on more valuable things than people who just don't care or don't want to listen. So I'm gonna help the people who specifically want the best versions of themselves and have the best relationships possible, as promised for phase 2. I'm not going to talk to you much about the people who don't want this, but I will sometimes because they still need to be called out, and sometimes it's a fun little vent. Sometimes it's a fun little vent because they have been just dismantling society for too long. Sometimes it's a fun little vent, but the huge majority of our time in phase 2 and so on will be on people who actually want the best results for themselves, their relationships, and their family. These are people who, these are values I'm about to name. These are people who you either value this or you don't, and you can tell through your life. All right. These are people who value optimization. Somebody put it in the chat. Optimization, growth, learning, being the best they can be, having the best relationship possible, high quality life experience, high quality. Okay, high quality, it can be, people we like different things to be high quality, but you like a high quality experience, which I define as like a peaceful existence. That's a high quality. All right, internally, that then comes out externally or manifests externally. Anyway, those are the people that I work for and work with. Thank you, Grace. I specifically want to be here for people who want both self-development and relational development. I am specifically here for those people. Okay. For people who know that in order to have the relationship working, moving, running, in order to have the relationship running on all cylinders, you have to get yourself tight first. Okay, right? In order for your relationship to be working on all cylinders, you have to get yourself tight first. By the way, a description of the phases, right? We talked about phase 1, phase 2, and so on. Description of the phases is on my website it's going to be on my website along with other writings about my philosophies, my ideas, and models that describe what needs to change in order for people to get better individuals and better relationships. So yeah, to this phase, we're going to be talking a lot about models. Somebody put models in the chat. Hey, Natalie, somebody put models in the chat. I'm going to, hold on. Make sure something's still going. Hold on a second. Okay. I'm going to be showing you thought models. Okay. Thought models, literally ways to think about yourself and about your relationships to be able to get better outcomes, because you must change your thinking. We'll be talking about that a ton. We always have talked about the way that you think, but this phase and for the foreseeable future, thank you, this phase and for the foreseeable future, we're going to be talking a lot about models. Okay, and the way to think and how to think. We're gonna make it super clear. So it's always been a part of my work for sure, but now we're gonna talk about it more overtly. We have to talk about mindset. We have to talk about the faulty ways that people think and the faulty ways that we think that create negative outcomes. Okay, are you on the same page? You got that? Models. We're gonna be talking about that. I'm gonna be putting all this stuff on my website. I actually think I'm gonna copy and paste this entire, like all of my notes that I'm reading from, and I'm gonna put the entire thing on my website so you can see the way that I'm thinking and what I'm saying about this. I think I'm gonna paste this entire thing, just no edits at all. I'm just gonna paste it so that you can read it, and then this live is gonna be saved so you can watch it again, and then it's also gonna be on Apple, Spotify. It's gonna be on YouTube as well so you can hear it again. Okay. Hey, Justin. So we need models. Okay, thought models. So you think about like an architect, right? I think of myself like a human architect. Like I help build people and I help build relationships. So like if an architect builds a model of a home or a development, some kind of development, some kind of development that is in their mind, and I create a model to what? To show you the vision that I have in mind, right? I construct a model that shows the finished construction, because I have the plans in my mind, but I make it real for you. And so a thought model helps to make thinking, which is what we can't see it, like we can see a building, but a thought model helps you to see how to think. So the reason why my work works, and the reason why it works for men and women, is because it's a clear way of thinking. It's a way to think. Okay. I'm not going to go down a whole rabbit hole with that. I could, I'm not going to. I'm going to back up. It's a way to think. I realize I need to show you the models of how to think through individual self-development and relational development so that you can see visually what's going on mentally so that you can think differently. Just like you need to see the building so that you can build it. You need to see the thought model so that you can think it. Okay, so anyway, you'll get it. You'll get it. You'll get it later. Anyway, y'all, we are leaving behind the ratchets. We're taking the winners. We're leaving behind the net negatives. We're going to take forward the winners. Okay, the winners, I know 2025, people don't really like that word winners. They say everybody's winning. That's obviously not true. That's got to be one of the most destructive lies being told right now, is that there is no winners and losers. Everybody's a winner. It's absolutely not true. And we know it and we live it. People trying to tell you that there's no winners or losers, I don't think want you to succeed. I think they want you to feel good while you keep like down, because unless you intentionally go up, you're gonna go down. There's winners and losers. People that get what they want and people that don't. Okay, people that have high quality experiences and people that have lower quality experiences. People that have the higher ones, they're the winners. They're the winners. We're winning the game. Okay, that's it. It's not about being a worse person. You're not a worse person if you lose. You're getting worse outcomes though. We got to leave behind the ratchet. We got to leave behind the net negatives. We're going to take the winners and we're going to develop winners, the people who want to be the winners. Okay, we're going to take them. We're going to take them, that group. Okay, we're going to leave behind the other ones. The winners, y'all, winner. The winners, y'all, the net positives. If you like that word or like that phrasing better, take it. The net positives. The net positive people are people who know they need to work on things, but you have a winning attitude. Somebody put winning attitude in the chat. You have a winning attitude. We don't talk enough about attitude. It's a big deal. All right. You have a winning attitude, which is another thing you're going to hear a lot about going forward. People who want to apply discipline, be serious about themselves, and at the same time enjoy the journey that goes higher and higher, like peak to peak. Okay, these are people with winning attitudes. Doesn't mean you don't have anything to work on. It means that you work on it in a particular way. And that particular way is with a type of attitude. And there's a type of attitude and mindset that creates net positive results. And there's a type of mindset and attitude that creates negative results. Thank you. We're going to get really clear. I'm going to just put all of this on my website. We're going to be talking about this for the foreseeable future. We're going to make this so plain. People who are, I'm talking about, we're taking forward the people who are, what I pinned in the comments. People who are attractive matches or who want to be. Those are the winners as I'm defining them. People who are attractive matches or want to be. Why do I call you winners? Because you get the goal. You get individual development and you get relational development. You get a best self and you get a best relationship. So based on the goals that we've defined, you win. You won. So if these are people who are attractive matches or who want to be, how am I defining attractive? How am I defining attractive? How am I defining attractive? An attractive match is a person with high levels. Somebody write this down. An attractive match, this is my definition. It's going to be on my website. You can just see it. This is a framework that we're going to be going forward with for the foreseeable future. An attractive match is someone with high levels of self-esteem, energy, and responsibility. Simple. 3 pillars: self-esteem, energy, and responsibility. An attractive match is a person with high levels of self-esteem, high levels of energy, high levels of responsibility, who cultivates positive experiences for themselves and others. That's my definition of an attractive match. Is that fair to say? Does that make sense? An attractive match is someone who has high levels of self-esteem, energy, and responsibility, who cultivates positive experiences for themselves and others. Y'all, this is the minority of people, which I mentioned often last season. The minority of people will do the work, but every single person needs work in order to get a higher version of themselves. Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule. Pareto's principle is the 80-20 rule. 80% of the work gets done by 20% of the people. That's what I'm talking about. That exists just everywhere. 20% of the people will do the majority of the work. Okay? The minority of people are going to do the most important work in self-development. The minority of people are going to get the best relationships. It's going to be the minority. It always has been, and it always will. Everyone's got things that are getting in the way of their higher individual or higher relational self. But the difference between us is, are you going to do something about it or not? Everybody's got stuff. The difference between these two groups. Hey, Terry, are you going to do something about it or not? If you're not, we leave you. And if you are, you come. It's very simple. and the people who aren't doing anything, at any point, you can get on board and start doing something. Everybody who isn't doing any kind of individual or relational development was at one point not doing something, and there was a moment where they started to actually do something about it. That's it. There's a turning point where you realize that there's something that needs to change, and then you start taking action to change it. So there's no shame in not being there yet. The shame is in not doing anything at all when you realize that there is something to do. Now that's where we don't have the we don't have a lot of space for you right now. Okay, we don't have a lot of space for you right now to be giving you like our time and attention. Those of you who do something about what you need to do something about, those of us who do something about the roadblocks, those of us that do something about the way that we're getting in our own way, those of us that do something about the way that we're getting in the way of the kind of relationship we want, whether it's something that doesn't exist yet or a relationship you're in right now. Those of us that actually do something about it are those with the winning attitude. Those are the people who advance society. Okay. Those are the pro-social people. I talked about that in season 12. These are the better ones among humans because they produce the most positive results. This has nothing to do with race or gender. There's nothing to do with race or gender. Guaranteed, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and say this now for the record. Guaranteed, from here and forward, you're going to see people saying that I'm doing white people stuff. Guaranteed. This is exactly what you're going to hear people saying that this is for white people. Because when you're talking about how to actually like make things like work, and there is way more white people that talk about it and that are clear about it and that have written books about it and that make videos about it and that are in like success philosophy than Black people. Okay. So because a lot of Black people, and I don't only work with Black people, I work with all kinds of people. My clients I have all kinds of clients in different parts of the world, different race, gender, age, all kinds of stuff. Okay. I don't only work with Black people. I have obviously a particular understanding of Blackness because I'm Black. Okay. And more Black people are going to be, generally speaking, are going to be more comfortable working with me than white people, but I work with all kinds of people because what I do works. It doesn't just work for Black people. And that's the thing that a lot of Black people need to understand. There's not just like Black success and white success. It's just success. It's not just white outcomes and Black outcomes. It's just outcomes. Okay. And some are better than others. And if you're going to be real, Black people are getting the worst outcomes, except for in music and entertainment awards, which should be a flag. Not going to do it. Not going to do it right now. Not going to do that right now, but it should be a flag. Black people are getting the worst outcomes than everybody else. So Black people will mistakenly and ignorantly, as we go forward, will say that I'm doing white people stuff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they say. It literally doesn't matter. Okay. Just do it and watch and watch what happens. This has nothing to do with race or gender. This has everything to do with life-oriented results. I call these life-oriented results. What do I mean by life-oriented results? Thanks, Grace. Things that sustain life, create freedom, create peace. Not just living, but living well. Life-oriented results are also aligned with God. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're not talking about Christianity. God and Christianity are not synonyms. I feel something going on right here, right now. God and Christianity are not synonyms. And if it takes me to be a Christian for you to hear what I'm saying, oh well. Oh well. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to equate that. So I don't believe that. Okay? It's not against Christianity. I'm just saying that I don't think that God and Christian are synonyms, like the literal equals. I think one is a reflection of the other, and Christianity is the reflection, not the essence of the thing. That's what I think. And a lot of other people think that too, but some of y'all be scared to say it because you Black. Let me talk to somebody right now. Somebody is scared to say that because you Black, and I get it. I get it. I wrestled with this. I'll talk about it another time. I wrestled with that for not too long, but a long enough period to where it was uncomfortable. Some of y'all scared to say that because you Black, and Black people will get on you like nobody else about that. Flag. Flag. I'm gonna get some flags and start just throwing them when I hear it, when I see it. Though anyway, we're not even gonna do that today. Those of you, those humans who don't do anything about your dysfunctions or who fake like you do, who am I talking to? Those of you who don't do anything about your dysfunctions or who fake like you do, but really just have everybody spinning their damn wheels. You be acting like you learned the language. See, too many people know the language now that they be acting, faking. But look, the truth is always in like the simplest, most cliche phrases. The proof is in the pudding. Okay? You can talk growth all you want. We see it though. We see it. We feel it. Those of you who don't do anything about your dysfunctions or who fake like you do, but really have everybody spinning their wheels, those are the people who need to be left behind. These are the ratchets. These are the net negatives. These are the roadblocks. These are people who block progress, who block advancement, who block happiness. You name it. You name it. It's positive, they block it. The people who don't do anything about themselves or their experience or their impact, the negative stuff, the people who don't do anything about it are the unserious people, the bottom feeders. I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm saying it as a fact. If you on the bottom, you just on the bottom. That is not an insult if it's true. Saying self is true. I'm not saying it to insult you. I'm saying it to just bring some clarity, bring some light to the situation. They're the bottom feeders. They're unserious. You on the bottom, you stay there. Unserious. I've outlined plenty of the negative traits about these people. I've grouped them in relevant ways. Look at season 12 so you can better identify them yourself and better identify the parts of you that are in them. Now in phase 2, we'll talk more about our own stuff that needs to change or be maintained or refined or leveled up. And that's all me too, right? I'm not at the end of something. I'm in the process of something. There are many things I've had to change over the years and I'm still working on, as I should be. Thank you. As I should be. Building your character and your personality and the successful part of you is a continuous process. It's not an outcome. But those of us that are continuously doing something about it are the best matches. And yes, I'm particularly concerned with people who want to be a best match and like a best person to be in a relationship with and who want to be in a relationship with one of those people as well. I'm particularly interested in you. Why are we the better? Why are you the better match? If you're continuously improving yourself in your relationship, if that's continuously your focus, right? Not your only priority in life, but it's continuously a goal for you, right? People that are in a relationship with us, can count on us to take accountability for our part. We work to make conditions better for everybody. We're the easiest to be in a relationship with. Why? Because we're responsible. We develop our emotional intelligence, our social intelligence, our finances, and our physical health. Why? Because we have high energy and high self-esteem. We like ourselves, so we take care of ourselves. Not only are we the best people to be in a relationship with, we just keep getting better and getting even more positive things to happen to us. We are the best matches. People with high levels of self-esteem, high levels of energy, high levels of responsibility are the best matches. And you just keep getting better and things just keep getting better for you. The rich keep getting richer and the poor just keep getting farther away and left behind. Some of y'all are already there at the attractive match part, the way that I'm defining it, self-esteem, energy, responsibility. Some of you are already there, and this part of the work will be a place for you to commune with other like-minded people, connect with me, refine yourself. But many of you are not there. Many of you are not there. Some of you are already there, but many of you are not there. Many of us are not there in different ways. Okay. None of us are all the way there in all ways, but some of us are more there than others. Okay. It's not a competition between, it's about you. It's really you against you, but some of us are better off than others. And you know what? That was actually me being too nice, and I got to be better about that. This is me refining myself in real time. I got to be better at that. Because when we're talking about relationship, it is competition. When we're talking about dating, it's competition. So I think when you look at competition, the competitive part of it in the positive aspect, you should use that reality to make yourself better. It should be motivating. When you use it in a negative aspect, you start to feel ashamed, way too ashamed. You start to feel down on yourself, depressed and anxious and upset. But the reality is that the competition exists. It's just a matter of how you're going to relate to the competition that determines like what your mental health's going to be about it, like what your experience going to be within the competition, but you're not going to get rid of the competition. Okay. So it does matter if depending on what kind of outcomes you want. With people who I work with in my audience, particularly want to have high levels of individual development and high levels of relational development. So for us, those are the outcomes. Okay. Other people want different things. For us, those are the outcomes. And if those are the outcomes, if that's the goal, then you have to understand that there's a competitive aspect to it. So it does matter how you stack up. And I am defining the stack up in terms of self-esteem, energy, and responsibility. And I'm asserting that people with high levels of those three things are the most attractive matches. And if you have low levels of those things, you're the least attractive match. So it does matter, like how well you're doing there. That makes sense. But I want you to approach it with a positive aspect. You should use it as motivation and direction, not as like shame and self-deprecation. That's not the point. Okay? It's too easy to get down. That's why I'm going to say this for the record. I'll get it off my chest. There's always something I feel like I got to get off my chest when I get back online. And I've been thinking this and I've said it in different ways, but I'll just say it really clearly here. This is why I can't get into the broader conversation and the culture of the conversation right now about relationships, because it's so negative and it's so like, let's call everybody out, but you're not providing any solutions. And it's too easy to beat up on people. It's just too easy to do it. It's not even hard. It's not even challenging enough. That's not a challenging problem for me to call out negative things in society and make a video about it. That's not challenging at all. It doesn't take any level of intelligence to do that. It takes no level of intelligence. Maybe you need to be a little bit entertaining. Maybe you need be a little bit spicy. Maybe you need to be a little bit arrogant, ignorant. I don't know. But it doesn't take intelligence to do it. And so I'm just uninterested in solving dumb problems. It's like, what's wrong with society? That's call it out. That's easy. Fixing it is hard. And so that's what I do. Okay. We need some smart people in the room. Clearly. Many of us are not there at the high levels of self-esteem, energy, and responsibility. How do I know that? We just see it. You just see it. And we also see it in the numbers. Less people get married. More people want to be single forever. More people are scared, all kinds of stuff. Okay. Because people aren't there yet. Like put it like this. You don't need a damn statistic for this. Oh, hell. Hold on. See, I got excited. You know that if the only thing on Tinder if the only thing on Hinge you were going to find was high levels of self-esteem, high levels of energy, and high levels of responsibility, if that's the only thing you're going to find, you be on there right now. What the you listening to me for? You be on Hinge right now. Like, you be like, I can't wait for my date, because there's a bunch of people with high level, which is high energy, high levels of response. Everybody responsible. Everybody like themselves. Everybody ready to love. They're open. They're trusting. But that's not the case, is it? And because that's not the case, it's quite different. It's quite different. You on there like, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. You've been scrolling for some of y'all for years, right? It's a minority of people that have high levels of these things, which is the people I'm advocating for, the people I'm helping to become better, because we have a deficit here. And if we had more people who were there, we would have more marriages. We would have more relationships, satisfying relationships. We would have less fear, anxiety, depression. I think one of the biggest questions that keeps people in anxiety is, who am I to spend the rest of my life with? Am I going to be alone? These are existential questions. What's my purpose in life? What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen after me? These are existential questions that are very much rooted in what's going to happen in your relationships, specifically your romantic one. Anyway, y'all, let me come back to the notes. I'm about to do too much. Many of you are not there yet. It's because that's the majority of people, right? If the minority have high levels of self-esteem, energy, and responsibility, then the majority are not hitting a particular threshold. And so I appreciate anyone who can just be real and say, I'm not all the way there yet, because that's everybody with something, including myself. Not in this area of self-esteem, energy, and responsibility, but of course, like, I should be mastered in that area, which is why I'm helping other people to do it. Okay. But we're all working on something, and I am still working in those areas. So does that make sense, y'all? I got to be real with you and tell you, I think I have a high level of these things. And at the same time, it's something I continuously work on, because it's not an outcome. It's a process for anybody, regardless of how far along they are on the journey. Are we really, really clear? So I appreciate when people are like, I'm not all the way there yet. Let me give you an example. I'll go first. something that I've had issues with, something that I've struggled with, wrestled with, right? It even took me a second to say struggle. See how that's I got a glitch there. Okay, what I'm about to say. I had a little bit of a glitch. So notice that, right? It is very difficult. I'm not gonna go on a whole soapbox about this. Navigating the online world is incredibly challenging. Okay, and the more you grow and the more exposure you get, the more noise there is. I don't know anybody, and I'll talk about myself. Dealing with negativity online is something that has been a process for me. Okay. So if I had to put this in my self-esteem, energy, or responsibility category, I would say this. I have to work on maintaining a high level of self-esteem in the face of negativity online. I have to separate the way that I feel about myself I have to separate the way I feel about myself from the way that someone else feels about me or what someone thinks about me. So I can have a high level of self-esteem coming in and have to work in that particular area and others, right? Related to all of those areas. And I have to work on that particular area to keep it high because that's a threat to me. Does that make sense? Does that help you to see the frame and how it fits any level of progression, and you need to know what the parts of you are within those domains that still need help? I want you to tell me, did that make sense to you? I know there's a little bit of a light there. Hey, Tia. Thank you. Okay, good. So I appreciate anyone who can just be real and say, I'm not all the way there yet. I am not all the way to a place where where I can see any comment or any message online and it doesn't bother me at all. I'm not there yet. I'm not there. Okay. So you gotta be, I appreciate people who can say, this is where I'm at and this is where I'm not. Because that's everybody with something, and I can only deal with people in reality. I don't want to be around a bunch of positive people for the sake of positivity. I want to be around a bunch of honest people, because it's people who can be honest with themselves who are actually the people who might just do something about the things they need to do something about. Okay? I can only deal with honest people. I don't need you to be good, great, perfect. I don't need you to be those things. I need you to be honest, and I need you to be willing. I've asked for that. If you've listened to my podcast over the years, I have always said that. I still stand by that. I'm like, I don't care how raggedy you come. If you're able to be honest and if you're willing, you can do whatever. You can do anything with you. We can do anything with this. You can do what you want to do if you're honest and if you're willing. So I don't want to be around a bunch of positive people. I want to be around a bunch of honest people, because those are the types who might do something about their problems and then they become happier people. So they become better to be around. Their happiness is a byproduct. The honesty is the vehicle. You become happier when you become better. Okay? You become more depressed the worse you get. you become anxious and depressed when you start doing things that are out of alignment with your values, your priorities, your goals. You become anxious and depressed when you do things that you feel guilty about or ashamed about, when you treat people poorly, when we get down on ourselves when we do bad things. We feel better about ourselves when we do good things. And so it's in the doing that you become happier. It's in the thing that you do and the way that you show up. That's how you become a happier person. So I'm not worried about being around happy people. I'm concerned about being around honest people, because it's the honest people who do the things to get happy. The truth is, y'all, most people want to be an attractive match, but most people are just not. Why is that? Things like cultural issues, social issues, mental health issues, all kinds of stuff. We started talking about this last season. We'll continue commentary about why people are in the pits this season or this phase and going forward. So if you're not an attractive match, what are you? Most people want to be an attractive match. Most people are just not. So if you're not, well, what are you? This isn't like a black or white thing. This isn't a binary thing. You're either an attractive match, high self-esteem, high responsibility, high energy, or you're not. It's a spectrum, just like anything else. It's a spectrum. Well, not anything. Let me not get into I don't want to get into gender. I think there's a difference between gender and gender expression, y'all. We should be able to say that. I think gender is binary. Sometimes if we can't just be in reality, then, if we can't do that, which I think is this is one of the building blocks of reality, like chromosomes, DNA. It's kind of like right at the building blocks. We can't even say that. We got bigger issues. you got a bigger issue than who I'm about to marry if you can't figure out how humans are made and who's who. I'm sorry. This is why I don't get off track, because then I start saying other stuff. Point being, y'all, so if you're not an attractive match, what are you? Are you just unattractive? No. But some of you are. So I'll start there. Let's talk about where it is on a spectrum, all right? Attractive, really, really attractive, really unattractive is on a spectrum. But some people are outright unattractive. Like, you're so far in the unattractive zone. Self-esteem is exceptionally low, energy exceptionally low, irresponsible. Some of you are like kind of like outright unattractive. Like no one in their right mind who actually likes themselves and where they're at in life would choose you. That's how. Look, it's not funny. It's not funny. It's not a good place. It's not a good position to be in. No one. Hear what I said. I'm gonna slow down for you. Hear what I said. People who are outright unattractive. This applies to you. No one in their right mind. No one in their, say it with me, right mind. All right? Who actually likes themselves and where they're at in life would choose you. Those are people who are just outright unattractive. It doesn't mean you won't get chosen, but if someone won't be in their right mind, it won't be a good idea, is basically what I'm saying. It's not a good idea to be with you when you're outright unattractive, because you cause a lot of issues when you don't like yourself. You cause a lot of issues when you have low energy. You cause a lot of issues when you're irresponsible. So no one in their right mind, making right decisions, doing right action, thinking in a clear, healthy, rational, reasonable, logical, emotionally balanced way would choose to be with you when you're outright unattractive. That's not everybody, though. But for those people, and you need to know if this is you. It's not about shaming. It's not about judging, but it is about being honest. Okay? You are dating bums, underperformers, people who are substandard. Why? Because you actually have too many of those qualities yourself. And none of us should get so high up on our high horse that we act like that's never happened to us. It's never happened to you. Okay? Or you've never been caught up in something that was substandard. But some of y'all still there. And you can be helped, but we got to be real about where you're at. Not everyone is outright unattractive. Some are becoming attractive. Okay? So we got people who are already there. The minority. All right? We got people who are becoming, which is more than the minority, but not as much as the majority. The majority of people are in the unattractive zone. Some are more unattractive than others in terms of self-esteem, energy, and responsibility, which in my definition makes you an all-around unattractive match. So some people are becoming attractive. That's all. There's nothing gimmicky about that. You're just in the process of hitting a threshold, it's like in the attractive zone that I'm going to define shortly. And I'm also putting on my website for your reference. So the rich keep getting richer. The attractive keep getting more attractive. Okay. Because energy compounds. The poor keep getting left behind. So the unattractives, the poor energy, the negative energy, they keep getting left further and further behind and increasingly isolated to themselves. And the not rich yet, the not attractive yet are working their way to wealth. We're not talking about money, but we are talking about wealth. Wealthy in the way you think, wealthy in the opportunities you attract, wealthy in the way people think about you and how they treat you. Wealthy in your reputation. all of these things do lead to more money because you're someone of high self-esteem who likes yourself enough to take yourself seriously enough to do something positive and productive with your life. So you also happen to make more money. But that's a byproduct of being an attractive person. I don't want more disparity between the mentally and energetically rich and the mentally and the energetically poor. On the contrary, I want us to all be mentally and energetically rich. Why? Because there's no real competition for it. I want you to really hear me. I want you to really, really hear this. I want you to really hear this. There's no competition for this. There's competition in the dating market. There is no competition for energy. So I want everybody to be, look, the faster everybody does this, the faster I can retire. I want everybody to get mentally and energetically rich. Why? Because there's no competition for it. It's just available to you. So why not have it? Think about it like this. If I was trying to get so let's say I'm ready to buy my dream home. I have located it. I know where it is. I know who the agent is I need to contact. I'm ready to go. I'm not going to get on Instagram and tell everybody this is the house I'm trying to get. Why? Because, well, based on this principle I'm talking about, I'm not going to do that because there's competition. There's only one of them. There's only one. If that's the one I want, I don't want other people to know because I want the best shot at getting this house. Okay? It is a material, finite thing. It's only one. There's only one. There was only one of them. There's a lot of houses, but there's one that I really wanted. So why I'm not going to tell everybody about it because I want it. With energy, with mental and energetic wealth, it's infinite. There's no competition for it. It's just available. Y'all, I got to go in on this point, but Instagram about to kick me off. I got 2 minutes left and then I got to get back on and we'll finish up what I'm about to say. I was wondering if it was going to kick me off. Sometimes it gives you a limit. It says I have 80 seconds remaining right here. The point is there's no competition for this. It's just available. So why not have it? Why not all of us have the highest self-esteem, the highest energy, and the highest levels of responsibility, which comes with many perks that we'll talk about in the ongoing and foreseeable future. Yeah, responsibility comes with a lot of perks. There's no freedom without responsibility. Why not have it? Why not? Why not help everybody else get it? Because if you're better, then my experience is better on earth. If the better people are, the better we all are. That's the facts. So there's no competition for it. Everybody's better for it. You get a better life, and I feel better doing it. And I'm really good at it. So I've developed and embodied what I would consider a highly effective process to achieve this. The way that I think and process information, the way I relate to the world, the way I understand energetic process. What do I mean by energetic process? I mean the way I cultivate my energy, the way I grow it, distribute it, harness it, master it, use it. And I'm going to share with you everything I've learned so far and that I keep learning as I go. And I've streamlined these ideas into 3 pillars that I'll be telling you about today and helping my clients one-on-one work with in an expedited way. So y'all, Instagram's about to kick me off. I still have more to tell you. I've got some other stuff that I want to tell you. So I'm about to end this live. I'm going to start a new one in like literally 30 seconds. So just come back on, y'all. Hey y'all, welcome to part 2 of Attractive Matches. I'm going to go ahead and get right back into it in about 15 seconds. We just finished talking about the process that the process of becoming an attractive match. Still in the process right now in this live, talking about what I'm doing and what you can expect from me in this phase. Then we're going to talk about a particular type of unattractive match, a very particular type that we're going to highlight for you. And anyway, I'll tell you about that in a second. I want you to think about it like this, y'all. I've always been doing this, but now I have developed enough personally and professionally where I am confident teaching a mass of people how to do it at the same time. And I've helped thousands of people already, but now I have a system that I really believe can help millions of people with a very important problem, which is the problem of essentially scarcity, a scarcity of people who are suitable for the high quality relationship that basically every single person wants. So are we really clear? My goal is to help you and everybody I can to get the highest level of self-esteem, responsibility, and energy so that you can have the most aligned life where you're really at peace internally and are living in a way congruent with your values, priorities, and goals. I consider that a good, great, excellent, aligned life. So that's what I like to help people to do. And you become the most attractive type of match for a partner, a spouse. Because again, y'all, I specifically want to help people who want relationships. If you don't, you can still benefit from developing these three areas: self-esteem, energy, responsibility. But I'm not talking to your specific single forever group. I'm not talking to the singles forever. I'm not talking to people who want to be single forever. I'm talking to people who actually want to be in relationships. Okay. Because we have different goals. We have different goals, so we have to steward ourselves differently. And at some point, those groups need to focus on different things. I'll say this again about the broader conversation that's happening about relationships and has been happening now for a couple of years. And it's going to continue to happen because it's such a big problem. And it's so pivotal that we get that. It's so pivotal what's happening right now with people's relationships. Like, this is people's lives, like actual lives. Okay. And their futures. Anyway, there's a mix up. Okay, we got a mix of people who don't really care for relationships, but they're a part of the conversation, mixed in with people who really want relationships, and they're confusing each other because they have different goals. So they think about things differently, prioritize differently, make different decisions. Okay, and they're mixed up. We've got people giving advice on panels and all kinds of stuff that have different goals and motivations than you do. And they're speaking on things that they might not even want themselves or might not be living out or might not even really care about, but they came up with a hot take. Okay, and there's a bunch of people all mixed up together. It's causing a lot of confusion and chaos. So different groups need to focus on different types of advice, and we shouldn't all be grouped together for relationship stuff. You got to talk to the relationship people. Okay. And not everybody talking about relationships is a relationship person. In this phase and for the foreseeable future, I'm going to take you behind the veil of how to think, not just what to do, but how to do it. For what? For those goals, individual, like self and relational development. You have to know how to think. And in order to do the right thing consistently for yourself and relationship, you have to understand how to think about it. How to think through problems, how to think about the relationship. And I know that sounds so simple, and everybody already has a something that they think, but that something might not be leading them to the right outcome. Everybody's already got a frame that they're working out of, but it might not. And I would say for the majority, it is not conducive to a positive, healthy outcome, which in this space, with me, we're talking about high level of personal, individual, and relational development. Everybody's got a system they're working out of. I think most systems are flawed and faulty, and that's why we're getting such poor outcomes. So I'm going to show you my models on how to think about things and how on what to. I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm going to tell you how to think through things. Show you how to think through things. It's not the only way to think, but I believe it's a very effective way to think, evidenced by my own life and the success that I've had with my clients and with groups over the last 5 years. That's professional life, but I would say the success of my personal life has been growing for over a decade in this particular area. So I'm not telling you the only way to think. I'm going to show you how I think, and I'm going to make it really, really plain. You're going to learn a lot in this phase. You're going to learn a lot. If you learn what I teach you, your life is going to get noticeably better much faster than if you were just spinning your wheels on your own. I feel so confident in that I'm getting on Instagram. And I'm going to put it on YouTube, and I'm going to tell everybody that listens to that. I'm going to tell every single person that will listen that I have a system. I really believe this. I don't think it's arrogant. I think it's accurate. I really have a system, a way of thinking about these things and things to focus on, that if you have the goals that I've already outlined, high individual, high relational development, it's going to work. That's how I'm so confident in this that I'm literally not even going to, you don't even have to pay for the answer. I'm just going to put it on I'm just going to put exactly what I think. I'm going to keep posting it like in like blog form on my website. I'm going to show you visuals. I'm going to lay it out, and you're going to see that if you just do it, your life is going to get better. You're going to effectively work towards those goals. And my clients just do it in a very expedited way and with very individual and customized feedback. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. So I've taught attachment. I've taught how to become securely attached, how to deal with triggers, which I call de-triggering, healing childhood, healing insecurities, how to set boundaries, emotional intelligence, and many things related to these big categories. I've helped a ton of people one-on-one and in groups with related forms of self and relational development, routine, fitness, goal setting, decision making. I've given steps, acronyms. I've outlined how to handle relationship problems. Now I'm going to help you understand how to think in order to become a better person, not just do a better thing. By the way, all of that stuff that I just named is on my podcast on Apple and Spotify. Last season is the only season that's on YouTube, but all of that other stuff I just mentioned, like the structural aspects, the tips, tricks, and acronyms and all kinds of stuff, steps, going through what's going on with certain relationship dynamics, all that emotional intelligence, that stuff is on my podcast on Apple and Spotify, and it's linked in my bio. Okay. But we're moving to a different phase. So that the information is not lost. It's there, but now we're doing it in a more holistic way. I'm helping people become attractive matches in a more holistic way rather than in compartments. I help couples become more highly synergized. That's things like removing blocks, increasing their energy, increasing teamwork, which all of that increases happiness within the relationship and satisfaction in the relationship. Side note, y'all, I'm going to say this for the record. You know, I like to say things for the record right now. And if you're used to my work, you know that I do this. I want to give us a setup. I want us to understand what we're about to step into. So this right now is a setup. I'm showing you the structure. I'm showing you exactly what I'm thinking and what we're about to do. And I'm literally going to paste these exact notes on my website right after we're done so that you can just read it. Because I've always been big on this. I want you to know exactly what you're getting into when you're working with me. And I think one of the issues in the broader relationship conversation is that you don't know people's motivations, you don't know how they think, and you don't know what their goals are. They're just talking. And sometimes they're talking in a very compelling way, but you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. I think it's very important that you know what's going on with someone's motivations and what their goals are, because it's not all the same. You might be talking about the same topic, but you don't have the same heart for it. Or it's not even about skill set. Some people don't have the education, but they have a heart for it. And they're much more effective than someone who has the degree, but they don't have the right heart. And so one of my goals in this phase is to be much more transparent with you. I know my heart and I know my character and I know my goals and all of those things, but I'm going to be much, much more transparent about this, about what I'm thinking and how I'm thinking this phase and on. And that includes like posting a lot of things like on my site and links and creating documents and PDFs you can download so you can track my thinking and you can really see it. Okay. So I'm going to say this for the record, because I'm setting up the structure. I just mentioned that I'm not just working with individuals. I'm not just working on people who want to become an attractive match. I also love working with couples to become highly synergized. Okay. But y'all, I'm focused less on talking to the couples right now because so much of the time when you come to me, you're in a relationship. This is not everybody. This is most. You're in a relationship you shouldn't have even been in. So you're trying to become highly synergized with an incompatible match. So y'all got that? You want high level of synergy, high levels of teamwork, satisfaction. You want freedom, you want flow, you want openness, you want intimacy, you want all that. But you're in an incompatible match. Like it's hard to create something when the soil ain't right. You want an oak tree to sprout from the gravel. And so when you come to me with gravel talking about make us a rose bush, I'm looking at you like, ain't no roses about to come up out of here. We can We got to be honest about what does this soil allow us to do? And some people have the potential, but they don't have the skill set, the tools. Some couples don't have the potential. And people need to start telling you that. Some couples don't have the potential to be this high quality, highly synergized match because there's too many incompatibilities. Incompatibilities in your values. Incompatibilities in your worldview, your beliefs. Incompatibilities in your lifestyle goals, your life goals. Incompatible parenting philosophies, incompatible relationship philosophies. You're incompatible. So you want high synergy with someone you just like. It don't work like that. Simply put, it don't work like that. So I'm less interested in talking to the couples because so many couples are not supposed to be, they don't have the stuff to become highly synergized. Now some do, and those couples are incredible to work with, regardless of their issue, because they have the soil to do it. So we can get the oak tree, we can get the rose bush, we can do whatever you want. You have such fertile soil, but some couples don't have that. So I don't want to talk to the couples because you need to understand what the individual is to be able to understand your relationship better. To be able to understand what's the potential of our relationship. Where am I at? Where are you at? Where am I going? Where are you going? Do we have the potential to be highly synergetic, or should we cut our losses now and actually understand what's really compatible for us and what's really going to help us to reach our goals? I think this is so good. This is so, people don't often like being single, but this is I've said this for years. One of the best things about being single when you're listening to my work is that you're better prepared, because you save time when you're prepared. Okay? You save time when you're prepared. So you can enter the game with the equipment you need to win the game. With relationships where the two people are incompatible, they started the game ill-equipped. And now they getting beat up. They're supposed to be on the same team. They on opposite teams. They wearing the wrong jersey. They showing up to the field at the wrong time. They looking crazy. They ain't got no water on the field. They passing out, heat stroke, fatigue, all kinds of things. You're not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to be there, ill-equipped. And now you playing a game, you getting banged up because you weren't ready. We need to understand the individual first. Who is the attractive person who then is in the attractive match, okay? So we can better understand who a highly synergized couple is, because my definition of a highly synergized couple are two attractive matches that have come together. Two attractive matches that have come together. Now, what's also possible is we have two becoming attractives or two unattractives that are ready to become attractives, and they can become highly synergized with time and effort, okay? So it's a highly synergized couple is ultimately two attractive matches that have come together or who become that together and they stay together. All right. So you have to understand the individual first. So a little more about this person. Who is this individual? We talked a little bit about self-esteem. We talked a lot about self-esteem, energy, and responsibility already. So those are the three pillars, but I want to talk to you a little bit more about the individual, a little more about this person. Who is the attractive match? An attractive match. Let me put this in the comments real quick. Attractive. Hey, Maury. It's nice to see you. Let me see. Attractive match pin. A little more about this person, y'all. An attractive match, simply put, an attractive match is everybody's type, if you haven't already figured that out. You have a mindset, behavior patterns, and emotional patterns that make it easy to solve problems with, easy and fun to achieve with, easy to trust and respect. Most people would say that that's ideal. An attractive match is essentially someone that we can plug and play. Aw, thank you. I missed you too. It's really nice I love that. Thank you. An attractive match, essentially, I want you to think about this conceptually. Essentially, what we're talking about is we can plug and play you with the general population, and you're going to create or contribute to a positive experience. It doesn't mean you are compatible with everybody. It means that you're creating a positive experience for generally everybody in relationship. It doesn't mean you stay with that person, but it does mean that you're not trauma. It doesn't mean that you're not a net negative. Okay, does that make sense? An attractive match, put it like this: you have high level, you got a high enough level of self-esteem, a high enough level of responsibility, a high enough level of energy to where you've now crossed over into the threshold of attractive. Okay, if we put you with on any date, you're not going to be the problem. Generally speaking, does that make sense? We can plug and play you anywhere. An attractive match is essentially everybody's type. The question's not what kind of person do you want to marry. I found that everyone says the same thing. Everyone says the same thing. So the question is not who you want to marry. We don't need to hear about your list. Everybody got the same kind of list. Nobody says, I want somebody about to beat me up, about to hurt my feelings, about to use stuff against me. I want somebody that's about to make my life hell. No one says that. You know it. Everybody says generally the same thing. What do they say? They say net positives. They say things that contribute to net positive experiences. I want someone who's kind, someone who has empathy. I want someone who makes time for me. I want someone who's considerate. I want someone who has some kind of like groundedness about them. I want someone who can deal in reality. I want someone, well, that, I'm not going to do it. I want somebody who takes care of themselves. I want someone who's willing to take care of me. Everybody said the same thing. Ain't nothing special about your list. Nothing special about your list. It might be the most generic. Who do you want to marry might be the most generic kind of question. It's almost like, do you want to breathe today? Yeah. Do you want somebody who basically nice to you? Yeah. Like, yes. Duh. Ain't nothing special about your list. You can stop writing them because it's just everybody else's list. Just look it up. Just Google it. Everybody got the same list. Basically. All right. Especially when you're talking about the internals. Everybody got the same kind of list. You want a basically kind person. You want a good person. That's it. Now you got some extra razzle dazzles on it. That's fine. And some of you can command that kind of thing from the market. A lot of people can't. We'll talk about that another time. The question's not who do you want to marry. I know who you want to marry. I know who you want to marry. Yeah, I know the kind of person you want to marry. That's not the question. The question is, how do you become that kind of person? The question is, how do you attract that kind of person? That's a better question, not who do you want? What do you want? You all want the same thing. It's how do I become it and how do I keep it? How do I attract it? How do I become it? What are the markers of those individuals and how do you develop those qualities and skill sets? For the foreseeable future, I'm going to help you become this person. I want to help you become this person. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you become this person and how to be the most attractive type of person out there. I think it sounds great. It used to just be about, and that's what I help people do one-on-one. But now, again, I got a system for you. Oh, hey, I got a system for you. That now, because I don't want to just help people one-on-one. I'm like, damn, why don't I just help everybody? I'm like, I got this so down. Why not just tell everybody? Because everybody needs the same general things in order to be an attractive match. All right. It used to just be about secure attachment, but now we're working on the whole person. Look, attractive types don't just look a certain way. No, they don't look a certain way at all. Attractive, well, I wasn't going to say this today. I don't think I'm going to say it. I think I'm going to save it. Attractive types I'm talking about don't necessarily look a certain way. Attractive types don't necessarily look a certain way. They are a certain way. So put it like this. If I put an attractive match, I could put an attractive match in a room full of people that all look different. They're going to resonate with other attractive types because of their energy, because of the way that they see themselves in the world. They're going to resonate with people who share that frequency, even if they're not even the same level of physical attractiveness, objectively speaking, which is an oxymoron in and of itself. Physical attraction and objective is just not even like a real thing. But at the same time, we understand there are norms in society, and damn, like when you, by the point you put at the point you put a disclaimer on all of this, it's a whole hour episode in and of itself. But you all understand my point, right? So an attractive type doesn't necessarily look a certain way, but you are a certain way. What do I mean by you are a certain way? It's a way of being. It's an embodiment. It's your energy. It's the way you show up in the world. I will argue, though, that an attractive match, someone who has high level of self-esteem, high level of energy, and a high level of responsibility does tend to look better to more people than unattractive matches. In other words, I find it rare, haven't found it yet. I'm going to say rare because anything is possible, but I have not come across someone with high level of self-esteem, high level of energy, high level of responsibility, and you look run down, ragged, and just lacking self-respect. Well, lacking, physically lacking. I haven't seen that. Why? Because someone with high levels of the SER will take care of themselves. Why? Because I like myself. One of the way that I like myself, I feed myself, I nourish myself, I cultivate myself. And so physically, I show up better. I take care of myself better. So does that make sense? It's a correlation. The correlation, your physical attractiveness is correlated to the SER, but it's not a causation. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Your physical attractiveness does not cause you to have SER, energy, self-esteem, energy, responsibility. It doesn't cause it. It's a correlation. It's related with it, but it's not the origin. We got plenty of attractive people that have low self-esteem. You got attractive people with low energy. You got attractive people who are irresponsible. So we see that you all understand. You understand what I'm saying. But I do believe there's a correlation because you're going to take care of yourself better. You're going to be more aware of how you show up. Okay? You're going to want to like yourself more when you look at yourself in the mirror. I'll pause there because I'll go on a whole thing about that. Let's continue. We're almost done, y'all. After these, I got a paragraph, 2 paragraphs right here. And then I'm going to tell you about a particular type of relationship dynamic that we'll be talking about for the foreseeable future. Thank you. Let me take a sip of water and let's finish it. Attractive types I'm talking about don't look a certain way. They are a certain way. Last season, you heard me making distinctions between people who are or not suitable for progress right now. And honestly, y'all, I was very nice. I held back a lot. I've been holding back. I would say for years, been holding stuff back. Because I care about your feelings too much. Too much. I have done that in the past. But now we got to get even more specific, y'all. More specific than the distinctions I made last season. There are 3 pillars a person needs to work on: self-esteem, energy, and responsibility. All of this is going on the website, so you can reference it. You'll hear me talk about it for the foreseeable future. My ideal audience, we have a bunch of people that listen to this stuff, but my ideal audience ultimately does want a relationship, and my even more aligned audience or my more aligned clients share the belief with me that there is self-actualization. Self-actualization, if you know how to spell it, put it in the comments. If you know what I'm talking about, self-actualization is like the betterment of yourself, it's essentially like actualizing, realizing your highest potential. It's making your highest potential real, manifest in your life. So my even more aligned people know that self and desire, your goal is self-actualization, but you also acknowledge, believe that there is another way to actualize, which is through relationship, particularly with the person that would be your spouse. You believe that there is another way to actualize, which involves another person, which you know would be your spouse. Thanks. My clients, my audience wants a healthy, secure, growing, all-star winning relationship. My clients, my audience, my ideal audience wants a healthy, secure, growing, all-star winning relationship. These are people who are not afraid to say, I want a relationship. These are people who own it, who want it, who actively work for it, towards it. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's nice. So when I say all-star winning relationship, you got to start owning it. You know what I mean? I said an all-star winning relationship, which at first I was like, that sounds kind of, but then I thought, no, I mean exactly that. Like, I'm talking about the people I work best with, my most aligned people are for the pro leagues. It's kind of like there's minor leagues, right? There's major leagues, there's semi-pro, there's pro. And there's nothing at all. There's people who in the stands, not doing nothing but watching, commentating. There are people who are going to be okay with being in the stands. They opt out, okay, for all kinds of reasons. There are people who do the minors. You know, you're like, you have a basically adequate relationship. You're not like totally miserable, but you're not satisfied. Like, that's not a word you would pick off the list. You like satisfied. Who gets to do that? Like, we're not here for satisfied. We're here for function. Like, we just got to get things done. We satisfied. Who's here to be happy? I'm not trying to be happy. Like, those are people who end up making those kind of arguments. What's happiness anyway? We're not here to be happy. We're here to work and miss me with that. I'm here to I'm going to enjoy myself. I believe in all of that, work and all that. I'm going to enjoy myself though. Okay. So some people start doing that because they've opted out of satisfaction. They've opted out because they don't think they can do it, or they don't think they can pair up with anybody that can help make it happen. So they opt out of it and they start making these kind of arguments. Happiness isn't real. It's that kind of stuff. But anyway, the people I work with, they don't do that kind of stuff. The people that my ideal client, my ideal audience wants an all-star winning relationship. Like, you're like, you know what? The minors are cool. I respect that. I respect your decision, but I'm going major. Semi-pros are real and good, and you're really out there doing something every week, and you're practicing and you're doing the semi-pros, and that's cool, but I want the pro league. Like, I do the major. That's what I do. Not everybody wants to do that. This is the minority of people. Go back and watch the part 1 to understand that concept, the 80-20 rule. I'm talking about the minority. And even in that 20, I'm talking about the 10. I'm talking about the people who say that, like, I don't just want to perform. I want to perform the best I possibly can. And in relationship, I want the best relationship I can possibly have. I'm talking about, you want the pro league. I'm talking about the majors, not the minors. Those are my ideal clients. I like performance in that regard. Like, I used to be a trainer. I actually still am certified trainer and stuff. Fitness is a big part of my life. Okay. And mentally emotional wellness is a huge part of my life. So I like a holistic balance, but a big part of my posture in my work is to achieve. Like, it's to succeed, it's to grow, it's to go forward, it's to move. I'm a pusher and I'm a director and I'm a guider, and I'm like, let's get better. Okay. And those are people who I'm most aligned with. And that's not everybody. There are some people who also have this goal, but that's not their style. They don't really want to strive for it. They want something different. And that's a different league. But this league is what I would call the pro league. Okay. And those are the people that I work best with. It's people who aren't afraid to say, I want the best for me and I want the best for my relationship. I want both. I also want to be very clear. I am not saying, I mess with this wording a little bit. I am not saying that people in relationship are better than single people. I'm not saying that. I'm not taking that stance. I truly believe people have different purposes in their life and different missions, and there's different ways for people to live that out. I think that some people are called to singleness. You can take that word called however you want. I think some people are called to, so when I say the single forever group, it's really truly no joke. Like, especially if you're like, I in order for me to fulfill my purpose here on earth, I reject relationship. I want to be single. Genuinely, sincerely, authentically, my healthiest self does not want a relationship. The part of me that is the satisfied part of me does not want a relationship. Like, it isn't, there's nothing about relationship that is a part of that equation for me. Some people are like that. That's not most people. Most people have different kind of cover-ups and masks for that. But I am saying that I don't think that people in relationship are better than people who are single. It's really truly like a different set of problems. I do believe though that it is a different type of actualization. self-actualization, relationship actualization. I think that they're side by side in terms of their inherent value, but I don't think that you can have I don't think you can have relationship actualization without self-actualization. So self-actualization would be the door to relationship actualization. That make sense? Does that make sense? I'll write it down for you. So my clients, you believe that there's another type of actualization that you're also intent on striving towards. So what does that look like? Like what is this all-star winning relationship? What is this healthy, secure, growing relationship? What is this highly synergetic relationship? Well, sometimes it's easy to see what you want when you contrast it with what you don't want. And this is our last part of our conversation today. There is, I want you to listen to this closely. We're almost done, y'all. We're almost done. There is an especially unattractive pair that needs urgent attention. There is one particularly bad couple plaguing America. I mean every word that I said. There is a particularly bad couple plaguing America, especially among Black people. This couple is this couple. I've seen this couple time and time again in my clients, time and time again. I see them out in the world time and time again. This is the disempowered man and the entitled woman. I think by understanding this couple more, you'll understand self-esteem, responsibility, and energy more, and their respective roles in your individual and relational life. I also think there are a lot of people that can be helped in how to navigate this issue of the disempowered man and the entitled woman in their real life. We'll be talking about this couple in an ongoing way as a type of case study. This is not the only unattractive dynamic, but this is a big one. When it feels like we squeeze the major lessons out of it, and there are some really good ones, then we'll drop it. Who is the disempowered man and who is the entitled woman? And what happens when they get together? And why is it such a common dynamic when it is such a destructive pair? If it's so bad, why do people keep doing it? If it's so bad, why do people keep staying in it? Some of you were around for the Ahab and Jezebel episodes. That was the Lost Files of season 10. If you know, you know. Some of you were around for the Ahab and Jezebel episodes. This has parallel lessons. The disempowered man is the man who essentially is way too afraid of his woman. He's afraid of her leaving him, afraid of standing up to her or to assert himself in any respectable way. He lets things go under the guise of being a good guy, a nice guy, an understanding guy, when really he's compromised his values and self-respect. The entitled woman is the woman who doesn't give much but wants it all. Seems like she always wants the best of both worlds while you continuously give more of yourself, and she remains underappreciative and walking around with a bad attitude, seemingly with no perception of how much you're doing for her in the relationship, and definitely no perception of how her attitude and her behavior is negatively impacting the experience. She is insatiable and constantly bothered. Am I describing anybody you know, including your damn self? This is the disempowered man and the entitled woman. We'll be using them as an ongoing case study, especially to contrast this highly synergetic couple and highly attractive matches. Does that make sense, y'all? So I think that by understanding what it's not, like I think we're going to use this contrast to understand what this is not. And it's also, I think, in the meantime, going to help people to really work through a very real routine problem. I deal with this thing about every single day in some way through my work, my clients. Okay. I'm excited to talk about this dynamic. I've had a lot of thoughts and I have a lot to share about that. I think it's going to be very, very enlightening. You don't have to be a full-blown disempowered man or entitled woman to benefit from this information, but I guarantee you will hear some of yourself in this phase and be able to identify some areas you could still work on, just like me. Especially if you're in the United States, this is a rampant issue. This issue is not gender specific. In other words, there are disempowered women and entitled men for sure. But I'm going to highlight it in this gendered way to really paint the picture and get into some of the gender nuances. I'm going to try to save time and headaches by not trying to be so equal all the time. I do a lot of disclaimers. And that really, what I realize is some of it, I think I first couched it in like ethics. But honestly, if I'm being real with you, it was like fear. Like, I was afraid of being misunderstood. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to be too harsh. I want to make sure that everybody knows that I get it and I'm empathetic and I understand your perspective. But and then I rush over to the other side. I make sure I understand yours. But sometimes we just need to really look at it and not. And you know what? I'm gonna keep it on me. I need to really just be in the gendered part of this and really flesh it out in a very gendered way. While at the same time, I want you to understand that whether you're a man or a woman, you can identify with either one's like negative aspects. And honestly, it's still very important to me that I'm understood, and it is important to me that I'm not reckless. So what I think I'm going to do is excuse me. What I think I'm going to do is record like a simple disclaimer that I put at the beginning of each episode about this. Making some kind of statement about the gender stuff, about race stuff, like for my own peace of mind, because it is important that to ground in like my values. At the same time, I also don't want to spend as much time being so concerned with being like making sure that you get that I'm not trying to get down on you, right? Like I spent way too much time on that. Okay. I was overly concerned. At this point, if you don't get my heart for this or don't believe I have a point or don't believe I'm here for the right reasons, okay, it's fine. I'll try my best to be clear, but if you misunderstand, you misunderstand. And y'all, that's my update. I got a new interest form I got to put in my bio. If you filled out my interest form in the last month, please fill it out again because, listen, seriously, all names and emails have been erased. I made an edit on my interest form that I cannot undo. So I need you to complete a new form if you have not heard from me yet. I'm going to drop that link in my bio right after this conversation. So if you filled it out and you haven't heard from me, it's because I literally can't reach out to you. I've lost all names and emails on my interest form. So I need that. If I've already reached out to you, then we're fine. I'm only seeing maximum, y'all. Here's another update. I'm only seeing maximum 3 clients per day for 4 days out of the week. My price has also gone up, and that's being made plain on my website. I'm focusing on making more content during this current phase of the work. I'm going to put all the plans on my website so you can follow along and see, and hopefully that really lends to the transparency that I'm trying to do in this phase. No more seasons of the podcast. I'm not doing seasons for the foreseeable future. I'm probably going to have series of things like a part 1, 2, 3 of some topics and things, but I'm not doing seasons because right now we're entering into the world of thought. We're leveling it up. We're entering a different phase. And so there's not like a way to contain it because it's in the undercurrent of individual and relationship development. So I'm not going to put it in a season. We're just going to have ongoing episodes, and within that, going to have series within that. So y'all, that's it. That's the update. I'm excited. I hope you're excited too. Turn your notifications on, and that's it. Subscribe on YouTube. This is going to be on YouTube by the end of the week. And it'll also be on Apple and Spotify. The links are in the bio. Rate and review, please. I really appreciate that. And leave comments after I turn this off. Like, I really love that. Like, leave comments, like it, share it with somebody. I know it's long, but I think it's helpful. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye. Bye, y'all.